What up? How y'all doing? I just came on for a few minutes. All right, cause I'm gotta do some stuff. What up? I know my castor oil, right? Oh man, glasses fell. All right. Now I gotta put my glasses back on. Y'all, it's getting cold down here. But 2 days this week, or 3 days this week, it's gonna be 70 degrees, right? But for the past week, we've been in the 60s. I had my heat on for the first time yesterday down here when I was working out, and then last night when I went to sleep, and then I turned my heater on this morning, so it's getting cold. And then this is my second time having to wear a coat, but this is a jacket, but it's warm though. So how y'all doing? I have some more words to tell y'all, but they're in this phone. I'm not on my other phone. They're in this phone. So I have to come back. I won't be able to come back this Thursday at all. So maybe this weekend I'll come back. No promising, but maybe. You are looking super fly. Thank you. This is my first time wearing this leather coat. I got it from, was it Belts, right? Like 2 years ago. It was too small for me. I couldn't zip it up. I couldn't like close it or nothing, right? But it was on sale. It was normally $350. I got it for $50. Pat will tell you, $50. She was with me. And you know how they have the end of the winter clearance? I believe it was $400 to tell you the truth. And they had marked it down to $150, then they marked it down to $75, then the last act they call it. I think no, that's Macy. And then they knocked it down to $50. Then I had a coupon. So really I only paid about $30 for a $350 to $400 leather coat. $30. I got a couple of leather coats upstairs that I only paid $30, $50, $60, and they were $300 to $500 coats. I just caught them at the right time, and then you have those coupons, 30% off, 50% off. Then sometime I have $30 belt rewards or $30 Macy rewards, and because I don't pay full price for nothing. When God make me rich, I still ain't gonna pay full price. I'm a salesperson. So anyway, I couldn't fit it, right? So I'm looking in my closet. I'm like, Daddy, I'm looking for, which black coat to wear because I got on black jean skirt and black top. So I'm looking in the closet and I saw this. I was like, wait a minute. I bought this 2 years ago and I couldn't fit it. I said, let me put it on. I could zip it and close it and got plenty of room. Y'all, I want to show y'all my boots. I want to show y'all something. This is how much weight I lost. Look at this. I'm sure. I'll see if y'all can see it. Can y'all see? Look how big my boots are. Can y'all see? I hadn't worn these boots since last winter. All my boots, my legs is lost in them, and and my feet, like they're too big for me. My feet went down 2 sizes in the past year, from last winter to this winter. My feet went down 2 sizes, and I think my dress size went down like 4 sizes, right? And I got like 50 more pounds to go, and I'm gonna have those 50 pounds off of me. What's this? October, November, probably. I'm hoping by February or March. Giving myself till April to get them 50 pounds off of me, for real. And once I get them last 50 pounds off of me, y'all be like, that's not Apostle, that's somebody else. And I ain't gonna look the same, because I'm starting, my face changed a lot anyway from losing 60 something pounds already. So I can imagine, and even my neck went down. I still got a little fat there, but it went down a whole bunch. But when I lose 50 pounds, I ain't gonna have none of this fat. People used to think I had, people used to ask me if I had some disease in my throat. I forget what it is, but I don't have that. We get fat necks in my family when people gain weight, our face puff up, we get fat necks. It just happens in our family. But when we get skinny again, it goes away. So, and everybody keep telling me I should have a cooking channel. I'm not like a cook. Like, okay, I can cook. That's because I used to sneak and watch my mom. My mom is from down south, and she could cook her butt off. She used to do catering and stuff for people, but she would never teach me how to cook. She would chase me out the kitchen. So we had this big old white refrigerator that was like on the corner, and I used to peep around the corner and just watch her, stand there for hours watching her cook, because I wanted to learn how to cook. When I got married to my husband before he passed away, I didn't even know how to wash clothes, guys. I used to wash white and colored clothes together, and they used to come out jacked up. And my deceased husband taught me how to wash clothes. So my mother, she didn't train me on how to take care of the house. I think she did that on purpose. She didn't want me to be prepared for a husband. But God gave me a good husband who knew how to cook, clean, and iron. And he was a very patient man. He taught me how to cook more. He taught me how to wash clothes. He taught me how to clean. So I give God the glory for my husband when he was here. He was a very good man, and he taught me how to be domesticated. He used to say to me all the time, when I first saw you, I knew that you were a pretty flower that needed help. He used to say to me, you were a pretty flower that needed help. And he did it. He did it. He was a good man. He was a good man. But my mama, she ain't teach me nothing, y'all. I don't think she did it on purpose. Some moms is like that. Grand Rising. But I still love my mama, although she crazy. And she into some weird stuff. I still love her. I heard she's getting, what's that disease? My son told me. See now? See, when you do evil, it will catch up to you. She's senile. She can't. She's like hitting 90 soon, right? But she can't remember certain things anymore. She goes weeks before calling my son because she can't remember how to find his number. She can't remember how to use her cell phone. She goes in and out. She'll remember, then she don't remember. And my brother that lives in Savannah, he goes down there to see her and try and help her. So she's seen now. So I prayed to God that he would heal her, even though I know what she was into, but he ain't healing her. So, maybe she got to go through this because, all of the evil she went through, but she be pushing 90 in a minute, So, y'all could pray for my mom. The God help her with her see now, but if he don't help her, it's because of what she did all, through her life to her kids and family members and people. It will catch up to you. And sometimes it will catch up to you when you're at your most feeble. When you're like in your 80s, 85, pushing 90, you're at your most feeble, if you're not like our ancestors were, and if you didn't serve God the way you're supposed to. Because if you're like 80, 85, 90, you could look like you like 50 or 60 and run circles around young kids because God is giving you your youth. You know what I mean? But if you're not living right and you hit those ages of 80, 85, almost pushing 90, you're going to be very feeble. And that's when God will let all the dirt you did hit you the most, because then you're going to need people. And then people may not be around. All she got is my brother, because the rest of the family don't want to have nothing to do with her. None of my kids except for my son. And he just talks to us every blue moon. So God is going to hit you when you're most vulnerable. That way, maybe he can get you in your old age before you die. He can get you in your old age. He can get you on your deathbed. Because you thinking you like regretting all the stuff you did that has gotten you where you are, and then maybe he can save you. Although And then maybe if he saved you, he could still utilize you in some way or form, because you saw how he used our ancestors. You know what I mean? And you see there's like 80, 90-year-old people out here right now. We thinking they like 60. Look at Patti LaBelle. She like 75 years old. She's still kicking. And she look good. Even without the makeup, she looks good. And she's still kicking, still singing, running circles around people, still kicking her shoes off. You know what I mean? And she claims to love God. God has never given me anything demonic about Patti LaBelle, but she is in the music industry, so you don't know. You know what I mean? And now she's singing gospel and some of her old songs. Then there's another one out there. She looked really good too, but she died. But she was like 70. I forget her name, and she looked like she was like 50. So God will give you. The Bible says God will give you back your youth. I think it's 15, 20 years. But see, what you don't understand is it's not our 15 to 20 years. It's his 15, 20 years. Like, I was watching this African Christian movie the other day, right? And the lady was 49 years old in the physical, and she was angry because she had not got a husband yet. And it had been prophesied to her over 30 years ago. She's going to get a husband, right? And so she couldn't understand why. But she had developed such bitterness towards the Lord and such anger toward the Lord. She didn't realize it took her over, and she didn't realize that it was covering her rim, because we all have our own rim. So when you get bitter and angry, that spirit spreads over your entire rim, and nothing can get through your rim to get to you, because everything that comes to you comes through your rims anyway, right? And she was so angry and so bitter that angels had to be removed from protecting her rim, so she couldn't get a husband. And there were two suitors that she could have got, but because she was so angry and bitter, so she finally went to this man of God that was really popular and could get through the heavens and stuff. And so he had a dream about her, and this is what the Lord had told her, right? Told him. So he told her, and she went and prayed, read the Bible, fasted. That whole demeanor changed. Now check this out. She was 49, but she looked about 60, because anger and bitterness will age you, right? When she finished praying and doing what she did within that week of fasting, do you know this woman looked like she was 30 years old? This was the same woman. So what I think they did was, maybe they made her look a little older so that she can look youthful. So the pastor in the movie told her, he said, you may be 49 on this earth, but guess what? You're 24 in the spirit realm. And he said, your age counts in the spirit realm before it counts on the earth. So because God and everyone in the spirit realm saw her as 24, she was still very youthful. And her husband came. I was like, my God, I just learned something here, guys. So now I understand when God says he gives you 15 to 20 years of your youth back, because he's not talking about our years. He's talking about his. So his 15 to 20 years, let's say you 60 years old, right? His 15 to 20 years could be half of your age. So in the spirit realm, you could be 30. God can make you 25 or 20 if he want to, right? In the spirit realm, right? So on the earth, people see you and like me. I don't tell my age. It's just a thing with me and my family. It was just how I grew up, right? But a lot of times people think I'm way younger than what I am. And I love Sister Pat because she takes it so well. But she looks young for her age too. But a lot of people think she's my mom. And I don't, because I look at her all the time. And I'm like, she don't even look her age. And she's much older than me. And she doesn't even look her age, guys. So I said, God, why do they think she's my mom? And he said, because you look so young. He says, in the spirit realm, your age is way younger than what you are on the earth. So when you start following him, right, and living right by God, that age that you have in the spiritual realm will start showing forth on you. It will start manifesting on you. You'll start having this glow about you. And people will say, wow, you got a glow about you. You know, and you might not even have been that attractive. But then when you come to God, everybody like, oh, you're so pretty. You know, you're looking at like, huh? Me? You know, that's because you serving God. You know what I mean? How many of you understanding what I'm saying? So now you understand that scripture where God says he gives you back 15 to 20 years of your life. Remember the king in the book of Kings? He was dying. How many of y'all know the story about the king in the book of Kings? Let me see a show of hands. Who knows the story about the king? Let me see. I'm waiting. I'm a king. I mean, king, I mean, right? But it's the king. In the book of King, he was dying. I forget what prophet God sent to him and told him he had, I think, was it a week to live? Or something like that. He was sick in his legs. And he asked the prophet how could he plead with God. So the prophet told him for him to come to God. He came to God. Not only did God heal him, God gave him back 25 years. I think it's 15 or 25 years of his life from the physical realm. So we don't even know how much that averaged on the earth, right? So we've established now that we know that our God will give you back your youth. He will give back years. Like you be crying. You could be like 70 years old just coming to God. You be like, God, what can I do for you at this age? And he's looking at you like, baby, you just don't know what you could do for me. Right? And he be like, but God, I'm so up in age. He will give you endurance. He will give you strength. He will give you vitality. He will give you your youth. All these things are in the Bible. He will give you all of this. You start looking at yourself like, hey, I look a little younger here. Wow, look at my skin. Look at my hair. You know, look at this, look at that. And especially if you get on a health kick and start losing weight, because God wants us to be healthy. I mean, he made our bodies because he knew they would expand, right? He knew this, and the devil did too, right? so right. And I'm not saying God don't love us when we fat and chunky, because he still love us. And it's a lot of, overweight, fat and chunky cuties in the world that's working for God. And they preach their butt off. They can run circles around us, right? But he want us to be healthy because he don't want us, going around the world preaching or being on stage or being on these platforms and be like, God, la, 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 God, la, 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 he don't want us, out of breath like that. You know what I mean? But he will love you and still use you just as much. But he prefer you to be healthier, even if you can't never get back to what you originally weighed, as long as you're healthy. And so when you're out there preaching, you don't get out of breath. If you got to run for some reason, like when I run now, I still get out of breath. So I still got to work on that. I don't run. I just walk on the treadmill. But when I try and run on that treadmill, man, I only last like 3-4 minutes. Before I could only last a minute. Now I last 3-4 minutes. So I'm getting better. Right? So he wants you to be healthy, so you can fit in the airplane seats, the train seats. I remember when I was flying home a couple of years ago, I used to have to get, how many of y'all used to have to get the extra seat belt? The one, it's like they bring it to you, the stewardess, and then they click it to the seatbelt that's in the chair, because the seatbelt in the chair, it just wasn't working. Right? And how many of y'all used to have to get the pillow to put on your seat? But I'm gonna give y'all a trick. Go and get you some compression socks. Whenever, from now on, you're gonna listen to me. Whenever you fly on a plane, go on a train, or you in your own car and you driving more than 3-4 hours, put on compression socks. Do you know that's how I got my blood clot? I was on the train for 18 hours going home, trying to be cheap. Didn't want to fly on the plane because the plane was so expensive, because it was during that holiday time, and the train was a little less expensive. 18 hours, and then I was supposed to come home that Tuesday, but something in my spirit, which was God, told me to stay another week. That Wednesday, that's when I started getting sick. And COVID was at its height. And down here, there was like no room for people. So God positioned me to go home to get sick, so I can get the best care. And I did. St. Michael's is like one of the best hospitals in Jersey, right? But they say it was attributed for me sitting a lot at home and standing a lot. Because when I was making all those products, I was making like 50 products, right? And then I was like on the computer 3-4 hours in a day trying to do orders and stuff, right? And then on top of that, sitting on the train for 18 hours triggered one massive and one small blood clot. So the doctor taught me, he said, whenever you travel like this on a train, a plane, he said, I don't even care if you're on a plane for an hour. He said, do you know how many people get blood clogs after they get off the plane from flying? And many people, the blood clogs kill them, and they don't, because they didn't know that it was there. Like me, God was good with me. I got symptoms. For 6 days, I sat in that Airbnb praying to God for healing. And Brother Daniel was praying for me. We had no idea what was going on with me. Then on I think it was the 6th or 7th day, I could barely get up to go to the bathroom. I couldn't even eat because it takes your appetite away. So for 2 days, I couldn't even eat. And I got up to go to the bathroom, and I barely made it there. And I heard the Lord as clear as day. He said, go to the doctor. Call your daughter, because she had the code to get into the Airbnb anyway. He said, call your daughter. Tell her to come. Called her, told her she was there like in 10 minutes. She was like, how'd you get yourself dressed? I did it. God gave me strength to get myself dressed, right? But I couldn't get up anymore. So they came, the ambulance, and they came with the breathing tank and everything. They couldn't even get me to the elevator. They had to bring up a stretcher and fit me on that stretcher. And I was a big girl back then. And put me on that stretcher and get me down them stairs and get me in the ambulance. The doctor said I had 1 day left. 1 day left. That's how close that thing was to taking me out. 1 day left. I didn't go to the hospital because I was waiting on God to heal me. And he said to me, I use doctors to heal too. And he wanted me to go to the hospital because, guys, I told y'all, so many nurses, even the doctors. I had like 5 doctors because I had good insurance, right? So I had like 5 doctors, African, Indian, and white. And I was talking to them all about Christ. Even the African doctor, we was talking about crypto. She said she was happy she met me. She went and bought her some sheep and stuff. And all the nurses, one nurse, she cried and hugged me. And they was thanking me because I was preaching to them, prophesying, praying. And then they couldn't believe it because here I had a blood clot, could have lost my life. And God was using me so mightily in the hospital. And that's why he didn't heal me, because he wanted me to go to the hospital. I was praying for the patients on the floor, people, the COVID floor above me. People was coming in from accidents in the emergency room because the nurses was just telling me stuff. And they favored me. They would bring me snacks at night, sandwiches and all kinds of stuff. They'd come and talk to me, sit with me. It was just amazing, the experience I had at the hospital. So that's why God wouldn't heal me, because he wanted me to go to that hospital and do his due. Then they took me off the medicine too soon, and the clogs came back, and I wound up in the hospital down here. But I ain't tell nobody that one. This was like two years ago, and I was in the hospital for 3 days, and he really, really, really used me. So what they did was they just lowered my dosage. It was too soon to take me off. Some people have to stay on the blood thinners for a couple of years. Some people have to stay on it for life, because every time they get off of it. But the thing is, the medicine sometimes will bring a blood clot. So this is why God has to intervene for you. And now they have this new thing where they wean you off of it. Now they just drop it. Let's say you on 10 grams, they'll drop it to 7. 6 months later, they'll drop it to 5. 6 months later, they'll drop it to 3. And that's how they get you off. Blood thinners, you just can't come off of them. You have to be weaned off of them, because they can bring a clog back, because your body has gotten so used to your blood being thin, right? And so if you abruptly come off the blood thinners, your body don't know how to handle it, so the blood is going to clot because it's so used to being thin. Mm-hmm. So this is why you have to wean people off of them, because the doctors, mission is to get you off the blood thinners. They don't want to keep you on the blood thinners. They want to get you off of them. And also it comes with losing weight, and being healthy can also prevent blood clots from coming. But when you sitting in the car for over 2 hours, you on a plane for over an hour, you on a train for over an hour, you need to have compression socks on, because when you're sitting down, all the blood goes to your legs. And sometimes our legs can't handle that blood flow, right? And if you don't have a recliner chair, get you a recliner chair. Sit in that recliner chair and watch TV. Don't sit in your kitchen chair, your couch. If you're going to sit in your kitchen chair, your couch to watch TV, put you some compression socks on. I don't care how skinny you are or how big you are. But if not, get yourself a recliner chair and keep your feet elevated. If you're a person that sits at the computer because you work at home, you definitely need compression socks, because keep sitting at that computer. And if you're a person that stands a lot to make products, you cook. Every time I get ready to cook or make something, my socks are on. And you can get them from Copper Fit, which is on Amazon, and they're usually cheaper on Amazon than they are from Copper Fit. And then they have the doctor kind you could get. Like, I got all kinds. I got about at least 7 pair. Right? Now I be out with Pat all day, but see, we be in and out of the car. We just don't be sitting in the car the whole time. We could be gone for 10, 11 hours. Right? And we don't sit in the car the whole time. So I don't need compression socks because I'm in and out of the car. It's like a workout for me. But when I had the TV show that I was on for 6 months in South Carolina, I would wear my compression socks because we would be driving. I think it was 4 or 5 hours to get there, and then 4 or 5 hours to come back. So then I would put my compression socks on. So even if you skinny, fat, younger, older, always put those compression socks on. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just telling you what my doctor told me. And I've been wearing them now going on 3 years, and they help tremendously. Because I notice sometimes when I come down here to cook, because sometimes I could be down here 2.5 hours cooking, I notice sometimes either one of the legs will start feeling like a little like tired. You know what I mean? So when I come down here to cook, I know I'm going to be down here for about 2-3 hours cooking, because that's just me. Right? So I'll put them on. And then when I go back upstairs, I take them off. They will save your life. They will save your life. If I knew about compression socks beforehand, I wouldn't have never got a blood clot, y'all. And I didn't know, sitting all the blood goes to your legs like that. Sometimes our legs can't handle that. This is why people get blood clots. So I'm not giving you medical information because I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you what my doctor told me when I first got a blood clot in 2020 and why I got it. He said the train really did it in. He said the train really did it in. He did. He said if I had not got on the train, nothing might not have happened to me. But because I was on that train for 18 hours and I was in one of those personal rooms, where they have the long couch, right? But the thing is, if you make it into a bed, then that's what it's going to be. You really can't sit. You got to lay on it. And I ain't want to lay on it because, the people be there. So what I did was I just sat up the whole time, and I didn't know, all the blood going to my legs. I didn't know that the train did me in. Right? Now, I mean, many people ride the train all the time like I did. Don't nothing happen to them. But me, it was because I was sitting 4 hours a day doing orders and standing 4, 5, 6 hours a day doing all kinds of products for months before I went home. So the train just was like what brought it head. You know what I mean? It was already there, but it wasn't dangerous enough to cause me any problems. But when I got on the train, and then a week later, I was home for a whole week. And was about to get back on the train. And God, I heard something in my spirit say, stay another week. And I did. And I got sick the next day. So guess what? If I would have went home, I probably would have got sick on the train. It would have been not good. It would not have been good. You know what I mean? So God is good. He allowed me to go home so I could get the best care, because he knew I couldn't get it down here, because it was at the height of COVID and they didn't have no beds down here. It was bad down here. But Jersey, it was fine. They didn't have the problems like we had at all. And we got buku hospitals up there. So he knew I would get good care. So how many of you know Daddy love us? And he want us to get the best care. And he don't want us to die. And he let me be 6 days with that clock, because he wanted to see my faith. And then when that thing was about to make its move, he told me, go to the doctor, call my daughter. Doctor said I had 1 day, 1 or 2 days. You see? God ain't going to let you die. If it's not time for you to die, you're not going to die. And even if the devil's trying to kill you, because it says the righteous falleth and prevaileth much. When God says we falleth, he's talking about everything. The devil trying to kill us, his darts, his attacks, his witches, whatever. It's so many people out there the devil done tried to kill, I don't know how many times. And they always bounce back. It's because they have God in them. The Bible says we habitate in him. So if you habitate in God, the enemy cannot take your life. He could try. He could put you on a sick bed, even a deathbed. You could hurt yourself and can't walk for a minute. But God always going to heal you because he said the righteous falleth but prevaileth much. He's always going to heal you. And he's always going to keep you. God's going to always keep you in top shape. But you got to work with God to stay in top shape. You got to eat right. You got to live right. You got to live in him. You got to be a testament for him. You have to be an epistle for him. You have to be a testimony for him. You have to go out there and get them souls like he has allotted you to do, and as long as you're working with God and you're willful with God, he will keep you. He will keep you healthy. He'll start talking to you. He'll tell me, Rosalind, don't eat that. You shouldn't eat that no more. Like hot dogs. Oh my goodness, I love hot dogs. Daddy told me stop eating hot dogs. I was like, really? I love hot dogs. He said, stop eating them. They're not good for you. Even the organic ones, even the turkey ones, even the chicken ones. He said, they're not good for you. He said, especially the beef. I'm like, Daddy. And then I used to eat these kielbasa sausages. Y'all know what the kielbasa sausages is. My mother used to cut them up and put them in sauerkraut. And I used to eat those and the quinoa buns. He told me to stop eating them. He said they were bad. I said, kielbasa sausages is bad now. So it's only one turkey sausage he let me eat. They little links, or sometimes they come fat, or they come in patties, and I get them from the organic store. That's the only thing. And then I went and bought me a food processor, which is a meat processor. They sent 2 bowls, one for me and one if you want to growl up nuts. So what you could do is you could go and buy you some chicken thighs and cut the bone out, right? And cut up the chicken and put it in the processor and grind it. Then you got your ground chicken, turkey meat. I don't know if you could do it with, maybe you could, buy you some turkey legs and take the skin off and take, because the meat, raw meat is soft. Right, and take that off and ground you up some turkey, make some ground turkey, right? And even ground beef, you gotta buy ribeye or round steak. And I get it from the organic store. Cut it up in cubes and freeze it, and then you put it in the food processor and cut it up. And you got ground beef. Pat, she went all out, man, because she grew up on a farm. She went and bought her one of them big meat grinders. I'm like, what? I ain't messing with that one. But then I thought about it. That doggone food processor I got, them blades ain't no joke. I gotta be very careful when I'm washing those blades. But then I didn't want the big meat processor. I just couldn't see myself doing that. And I barely got room on my counter as it is with all those appliances, right? So I was like, nah, I ain't getting that one. So I'm gonna stick with that one. Right, and you can make almond flour with it. You can make cashew flour. You could grind up salads in it. You can grind up anything you want in this food process. And it was like normally $2.99, and they had that prime time thing going on last week. So I got it for $67. Cause I'm a salesperson. I'm not paying full price for anything. Just not. And if I like it and I see it's full price, I went and bought DK. How many of y'all like DK? What's her name? DKY bags, right? Because Daddy said I can have those. And Belt sent me this coupon with no, it wasn't Belts. It was Macy's, and I had like $60, I think, on rewards. And they had those DK bags on sale. They was normally like $350, and they had them on sale for 100 or something, right? So then this pretty furry suede bag was so nice, and it said $89, 40% off, right? I didn't know they had already took the 40% off. I went up there, she said, "Oh, this not on sale." So honey, put that back. She was like, "I got you. If it ain't on sale, it ain't coming with." Nope. But the DK bag came with me, because that was like normally I think 3 something, and it was 100 something. So that was a deal. How many of you ladies know that was a serious deal on DK bag, right? Because daddy tells me which bags I can buy, that won't open doors for me. Like no Gucci's, no what's their name? Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, no Dolce and Gabbana. Just like DKY, Michael Kors, even though he's racist. And was it DKY, Michael Kors, and there's a couple of other ones. But you can go to Ross. Macy's and Ross is the place to go. Oh, Juicy Couture. Macy's and Ross is the best place to go to get Michael Kors, DKY, and what's the other one? Michael Kors, DKY. And it's New York and Company, something like that. Macy's and Ross is the best place to go to get these purses, because you get them like 60, 70, 80% off. You know what I mean? So you could be on a budget and still have nice things. You just have to know how to shop. Most granddad's not that big. Yeah. Oh, it's not that big, Pat? You got it? It looked big in the picture. It looked big in the picture. So Pat's saying hers is not that big. It looks big in the picture. Yeah, she got the high one, though. I just got the meat grinder food processor combined. They give you a glass bowl for the other stuff and a silver bowl for the meat. No Coach. Yeah, and Coach is my favorite. No Coach, no Dolce Gabbana, no Louis Vuitton, which is Louis Vuitton. Who else? What's his name? Tommy Hilfiger. I used to love him too. They just leave him alone. That's basically the 4 right there. Everything else you can have. It's another. Oh, Prada. Because I had some Prada glasses. I told y'all years ago they were sitting on my coffee table back home. He took and threw them off the table. And when I heard it and went, I said, "Daddy, why'd you do that?" I said, "I know you did that." He said, "I don't want you to wear them." So it was Prada, Gucci, Coach, Louis Vuitton, which is Louis Vuitton, and Tommy Hilfiger. Those were the 5 he told me to stop messing with. But mostly all the other ones, I always ask him if I come across one that's on sale, and it's one that I don't have, and the name is on it. Like Anne Klein, I think he said Anne Klein was okay, because she make purses and clothes. New York and Company, they make purses and clothes. Burberry told me to leave that alone too. So that was six right there. So it's Prada, Burberry, Louis Vuitton, which is Louis Vuitton, Tommy Hilfiger, Prada, and Coach, and Gucci. 7. He told me to leave them alone. And those are some of my favorite purses. I used to go to Canal Street back in the day. Remember the Garment District? All of y'all from New York, y'all know the Garment District. Man, you could go there and get some knockoffs, right? But a lot of those knockoffs would actually be real. Sis, you here? Are you here? Because I don't see no text from you. Wait. I'm trying to see. Are you here, Pat? Let me know so I can come off of here. But I used to go to Canal Street. Man, my kids, they were some of the best dressed kids around. My girls, they had knockoff Gucci's bags, knockoff Coach bag. And then some of them were real, because you would open them up and they would have the stuff in them and the booklets and stuff. And you could tell by the zipper. Some of them was real. And even the knockoffs, they were made out of Kai-High leather, just like the real ones. Because Kai-High leather is like the best leather ever, right? So there was a couple of times I got some real Coach bags. But when you go to Canal Street, you spending like $250, $400 on a knockoff anyway. And that knockoff, a real knockoff, will cost you $1,000, $2,000, and then the knockoff you paying like anywhere from $250 to $500. That's what I was paying. I used to get the Louis Vuitton shoes and the belt to match and the bag. Man, me and my kids, we was rolling. We were rolling. My kids were something like my son. He used to love Paul Canai stuff, so I would buy him Paul Canai glasses, Paul Canai shoes. We'd go right over there to the garment district. I would get him gold because I used to work for Sears years ago, and I used to work in their pewter and gold department. I was a manager, so I would get mad discounts. So my babies was walking around with gold chains and everything. My mother used to be like, "You know what? You ruining them kids." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm giving them the best." And because, like, when I was a little kid, my mom used to make us wear, on Monday, we would wear an outfit, right? Then on Tuesday, we would wear it again. Then on Wednesday, we get a new outfit. Then on Thursday, we wear it again. Then on Friday, we got a new outfit. And I swore up and down I wouldn't do that to my kids. I swore my kids would have an outfit every day. So when I had my own kids, oh my goodness, they got the royal treatment. Let me tell you something. My money used to go on my kids before it would go on myself. My kids would look better than me. That was my thing. My kids had to look better than me. They had to live better than me. And they had to have more than me. Because when I was growing up, it wasn't like that. My mama could have did a lot of good stuff for us, but she chose to be tight with her money and in her fist. And then when I was a little kid, I used to say, my kids ain't going to go through that. My kids is going to be treated like royalty. And boy, was they. My son and my two daughters could tell you how I was with them when they were little. I had to share custody with them, with their fathers, two of them. But they will tell you how I treated them. You know what I mean? It was no amount of, it wasn't nothing, no tight fit, no nothing. Because how many of you know when you treated a certain way as a child and you grow up, you don't want to treat your children that way. You don't want your children to go through those things. I don't mess with TJ Maxx. They overpriced, man. No way. I go to Ross. When Steinmart was here, we would go to Steinmart. Macy's is better than, and JCPenney's and Belts is better than that doggone TJ Maxx. They too doggone expensive. And Target is just, they stuff is just terrible. And they're expensive too, and they stuff is terrible. It's another good store. Not Brand Smart. Pat, what's the name of that store we be going in and we used to find pretty skirts in there? It started with B. Brandsmark is good for appliances, but it was another store we used to go to when we found cute skirts, and you can find name brand stuff in there too. Yeah, I miss Coach because I used to love me some Coach. I did. I always had expensive taste. Because my mom, although she was tight-fisted, she had expensive taste. And all my aunties, because my mom was like the second or third oldest of 15. And it was like 10 women and 5 men. And all my, even my uncles were bougie. All my aunties, they were so bougie. They had houses, they had nice cars, and they were always buying like luxury brand. And my mom, like every 2 to 3 years, she would change the furniture in the entire house. She would change the living room set. She would change our beds. She would change our kitchen sets. She would just change. Every year she was getting new dishes. You know what I mean? But and then the clothes that we wore were good quality clothes, but she would make us wear them twice. And then after 2 days we get a new outfit, so I kind of get it from my mom. Until this day, my son told me she still spend money like that. She still be doing this and doing that in her old age. You know what I mean? But I had to ask God to deliver me from that. Because I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna keep changing living room sets and kitchen sets. I used to do that and give it away to somebody or try and sell it and then go out there and get me something new. Like all this furniture in this house, this is the longest I've ever had furniture without trying to sell it or give it away to get something new. So what, since 2018? And what's this, 2023? And the furniture still look good because I know how to keep stuff up, and I barely sit on them anyway. But 5 years is the longest I've ever had furniture. Most of the time I would have it for like 2 years, maybe 3 years, and I would sell it. And if I couldn't sell it, I would give it away to people or donate it, right? Just so I could get new furniture. just so I could get new furniture, But He's delivering me from a lot of that, because sometimes I'll see something I want and I already have it, but they have a better one and it's on sale, and I'll be like, okay, Pat, do you need so and so? She'd be like, yeah, I'll send my kids something because they don't have it, and then I'll be able to get the upgrade because it's new. You know what I mean? So, see, writing books can be lucrative. Being a coach when I was a coach can be lucrative. Can be lucrative. Making products can be lucrative. Then you can buy things that you want to buy. And God loves it when we buy things that we desire, as long as there's a need for it. If there's no need for it, like even with purses, as women, we have a bunch of purses, right? Bunch of shoes, boots, whatever. The Lord doesn't mind us having it, but you can't go on overage, overage. Sometimes we can have so much stuff, it's ridiculous. And then you looking at it, you like, how did you get all this stuff? You know what I mean? And then some of it, you can outgrow it. It could be wind up being too big for you, whatever the case is, and then that's when you got to start going through stuff and giving it to people who are less privileged or maybe can't get these kind of things. And you give it to them, and you don't sell it. You just give it. You give it away. You don't sell it. You want to know why you don't sell it? Unless you need the money, and even sometimes when I need the money, I don't sell it because I give it away, because the Bible says the more you give, the more you receive. It's not just with your tithing and your offering. It's with anything. If you give a lot of love from your heart, the more love you're going to receive. If you out there paying people groceries and doing this and doing that, guess what? God going to pay for your groceries. He going to make sure you got plenty of groceries. You ain't never go hungry, nor your children or your family, no matter how high food get. See, so it's not just tithing and money. It's anything you do. Like the cleaning lady, she had to throw away all her pots. God told me, he said, Rosalind, when you gonna go through them pots in your cabinet? I said, when I get ready to go home. He was like, why don't you go through your cabinets? Because there's some things in there that you can give so-and-so, because I don't want to say her name. I'm like, you want me to give her some of my pots? He said, yeah. Do you know she told me she threw away all her pots? She told me this. I was like shocked. So I told her, I said, okay, well, God told me to give you some pots. She was like, really, Miss Rosalind? For real, Miss Rosalind? She's like, that's why I love you. Right? So I went through the cabinets and I had like 2-3 bags of stuff. Like pots, bowls. I even gave her one of my mixers because I had 2 mixers. So I gave her one. And some knickknacks I had in the garage that I hadn't even taken out the box from 3.5 years ago moving. Gave her those. And this girl was almost in tears. She was almost in tears. And the stuff I gave her was in very good condition. Some of it I hadn't even used but a couple of times. And it was in very good condition. And it was stuff that I got from like Ross, Macy's, JCPenney's, belts, during the COVID time when everything opened and you could go in the stores and get 60 and 80% off stuff. So she got some good stuff, but I didn't pay a lot for it, right? And so I gave her, all this stuff. And so then when I needed the water filter, when I needed the food processor, and it was something else I needed, God made sure I had the money to go and get it. So see, he used me to bless her and the things that I wanted, and the DK bag, and this hat is new, right? This was $100 hat. Guess what? $30, right? So he gave me the money to get the things that I desired because I helped her. Right? So that's how he do. You help somebody, then he'll give you the things that you need. And then it also blessed me because now if you go in my cabinets, you don't have to fight to get in them anymore. I just open them and pull out whatever I want. Wash it and put it back. You don't gotta fight no more. You know what I mean? You don't gotta fight no more. Right? So he blessed me that way too. And some of y'all are blessed. Like Rose got this pretty hat from me. It was a $400 hat. I think I only paid two something for a couple of years ago. If she was on here, she'll tell you. Then somebody else got a pretty hat from me. And Pat got a $300 hat from me. I only paid, I think, $50 for. You know, a lot of y'all got my books. Some of y'all I've sent things to in secret. You know what I mean? So as long as you are a giver, and I just have a heart to be a giver. I don't just give so God can give me. I just have a heart to give. Like, I've given away so much money to people on here. It's ridiculous. And your family members, you know, but I'm slowing down on that. You know, because, you know, money is not as freely as it was before. You know, you got to hold on to your ducats a little longer right now. You just can't be giving away them ducats no more. You just can't be raising money no more all the time, because a lot of people, you know, they don't have it, and they think, you know, so I had to cut back on that. You know, I had to cut back on my books too, because I was giving away so many books. I think I gave away thousands of dollars of books over the past like 6 years alone. You know, so I was like, okay, it's time to start giving away bucks. You know what I mean? Pat, true. I don't stop for myself since I'm. Pat told y'all my cabinet looks nice now. Roz, we got enough. Where'd it go? We got enough stores to get your money. Yes, there's a lot of stores down here. This apostle sent me a hat and has blessed me. When my store gets popping, I will bless her. Yep, God had me send some people actual money to start a business. And I could have, you know, made up a contract to have them sign it, telling them, okay, I want 10%, 15%. I didn't want nothing. When I was being blessed with money at that time, you know, God was like, help them. And if I would have said to God, okay, God, I'm going to help them, but I want a contract so I can get some money, he would have been fine with that. But I didn't want anything from them. I just wanted to help them because God told me to help them. You know what I mean? And one day some people are gonna help me, and some people have helped me. But I'm saying some people are gonna help me, like when I get my own church or when I get a conference, people are gonna volunteer to work for me. They ain't even gonna want no money because of all the goodness I've done in their lives and the goodness I've done, period. They ain't even gonna want, some people are gonna want, of course I'm gonna have to pay people, but some people ain't even gonna want nothing from me. They just gonna want to be near me. The Lord told me this, and many prophets, they just going to want to be near me. They're not even going to, some of y'all just can't wait to get near me. Y'all keep telling me, Apostle, I can't wait till I meet you. I just want to hug you. I want to work for you. You ain't got to pay me. Yeah, I'm already getting it. I'm already getting it from folks. I'm already getting it. That's it. Yeah, you know, and I don't be paying Pat nothing. I mean, I be helping her. I be hooking her up, but I don't pay her nothing. And she does a lot for me, as well as I do for her, you know. Hey, Serena. Yeah, Serena, she in New York. She not far at all. I probably won't be able to get rid of her. She probably gonna be a thorn in my side, that one, Serena. I'm like, will you go home? No, Apostle, I want to stay. I'm like, Serena, go home. I'll work for you. You'll work for me too? Good, good. Hey, Nick, how you doing, sweetie? I dreamt of, MTU, but you leaving Georgia soon. Yeah, sorry, Rose. Sorry, baby. It wasn't God's plans for me. I mean, I tried to do a conference down here a couple of times. It didn't work out. I think God, you know how God took Yeshua out of his homeland, you know, because my peeps, they didn't appreciate me, but a lot of them appreciate me now. And a lot of stuff I accomplished down here, I didn't accomplish back home, you know, and I had to learn about how to handle a house. Back home, to rent houses is extremely expensive, but down here it was so reasonable. You know, now it's getting expensive, you know, so I had to learn the ins and outs about a house. Plus, I met brother Travis and his wife, and they flip houses. And they sent me so much information on houses and inspection and stuff like that. And I've learned so much living in houses down here. I've been lived in about four I think, or 5 houses. This is, I've been here 3.5 years. This is a long story, right? So I had to learn a lot about houses. How else is God gonna give you a house and you don't know nothing about them? You don't know how to take care of them. You don't know how to handle them. You don't know about inspection. You don't know about this, the body, and I had to learn about real estate. Although I don't want to be in real estate, I had to learn about real estate. I had to learn how to search out the land the house is on and previous this and I learned a lot from God, and I learned a lot from Brother Travis and Shelly from the stuff that they went through and all the papers they sent me, all the information, right? So now I'm prepared to have my own house. I'm prepared to handle my own house because I've been handling them now for like 6.5 years. I've never lived in an apartment since I've been down here, right? I had a ranch house. That's where you don't have stairs. But so I had to learn all these things. And this is why a lot of y'all don't have your house yet, because God had to teach y'all a lot of stuff. And this is why a lot of people don't have wealth transfers yet, because you had to learn how to handle your wealth transfer. How you going to get a wealth transfer? How you going to get money and you don't even know how to handle money? You don't know how to invest it right. You don't know how to save it right. You don't know how to keep it right. You want to tell everybody you got it so they can kidnap you, poison you, and kill you and take it from you. And then we had to get rid of a lot of people. Like sometimes God will hold back your wealth transfer because the people in your life, he don't want them to participate in it. He don't want them to have nothing to do with it. He don't want them to know nothing. So he will get rid of these people. God knows you'll never leave. So he'll make you uncomfortable with them or make them uncomfortable with you. Y'all get into it, whatever the case is, and y'all separate because everybody can't go where you're going. A lot of people haven't even gotten their wealth transfer yet because of the people in their lives. God has been nudging you to get rid of these people, get away from them, whatever the case is, and you're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're still holding on. So it's going to come to the point where he's going to force you, put you in a position, make you uncomfortable to leave these people or make these people leave you because he don't want them sharing what he going to give you. He don't, because he know they're going to use you and abuse you. And that's why he don't want you to tell nobody when you start getting money, because it's your own family, enemies in your camp, come for you, poison you, kidnap you, whatever the case is, rob your butt, break in your house. They'll pay somebody to go break in your house and rob your butt. That's why you shouldn't be telling people when God bless you with money. I mean, if God bless you with a car, he bless you with a house, you want to tell certain people, that's fine. But don't be broadcasting it all over Facebook. People be putting pictures of their house. Look what God did for me with the address show. I'm like, how doofus can you get? Really? People show that, it's okay if you want to show your house, but you don't got to show the whole thing. Or, just show them a little where they can't even figure out. Because do you know people could take a picture of your house and put it in Google search and find it? Did you know that? They could take a picture of your house, and if it's listed, they will find you. If it's not listed, they won't find you. They will find you. Okay? They will find you. So that's why you got to pray and ask God to cover you. Be like, Daddy, even if they know where I'm at, even if they could see me, blind them where they can't see me. I could be standing right in front of them. My house could be right in front of them, and they can't see me. Because you done blind them where they can't see me. He done stealth you, hid you. He'll do it. He did it in the Bible. Didn't he stealth people in the Bible? Yahushua was walking on walls and they couldn't even see his butt. Okay? But I can't be around her for too long because it's draining. And that's another thing. If you're around somebody that's draining your energy, you definitely need to get away from them. They're called energy vampires. They're called energy vampires. You definitely need to get away from them because the devil is using, do you know there's a difference between demons and devils? Devils, you can really get rid of them kind of fast, but demons, they stick around, right? So if somebody's draining you, they either have a vampire demon or vampire devil. And you got to cut them off. No matter how much you love them, you got to cut them off because it's not good for your soul. It's not good for your spirit. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for you, period. And then it can open your rim up for things to come inside of you. And then they also have devils called leeches. Like a leech on the ground. If a leech ever get on your skin, they trying to suck the blood out of you. They got devils called leeches. They get in people too, and them leeches will drain off of your blood. You don't even know why. You start getting sick. Stuff start happening to you. You don't understand why. You like, I'm praying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's somebody around you that got a leech devil in them, sucking your blood out of you. I got to let my hairstylists go. You definitely, I ain't tell you something. You got to be careful with these hairstylists. A lot of them got demons. And they doing your hair. Hands transfer. Hands transmit. They all up in your hair. Demons coming all in you. Coming all. If you're going to go to a hairstylist, make sure you cover your head with the blood of Yeshua Jesus. Your hair, your shaft, your roots, everything about you. Ask God to put a barricade on top of your head so when they wash your head, nothing in them will go in you. And the shampoo and conditioner they done used on 5 other heads don't go in you. See, you got to think about that. That shampoo they done used on 5 or 10 other heads before you, maybe even more than that. So you ask God to put a barricade and the blood of Yeshua Jesus and a barricade around your head so nothing will transfer. If you like to go and get your hair washed and somebody else will do your hair, you don't want to do it yourself. That's what you need to do. You can't. I ain't even gonna go here. I'm just not. Yeah, she was acting funny last time I went. So look it as God not one. Yeah, don't go back. Anytime you get a feeling, because I gotta go, y'all. Anytime you get a feeling in yourself or a vibe in yourself about somebody, that's your spirit giving you a check mark. If you like thinking, this person really doesn't care for me, this person is probably backstabbing me, or whatever the case may be, always it's called your intuition, but it's really your spirit man talking to you, or the Holy Spirit, or God, or Yeshua, and you should heed to it. Heed to it, right? Because the people you least expect are your worst enemies. The ones you least expect are your worst enemies. And your family could be your worst enemy. You even got to check with God about your people. That's the ones you ain't seen in years. Because people change. People change. And if somebody doing your hair and you got to check in your spirit, man, rolling. See you later. Peace. Don't let the door hit you. I'm out of here. My granddaughter gets her hair done by a godmother. She gets sick now. Every time the godmother does her hair, she gets sick. Ooh, that ain't good. That could be witchcraft. What? You need to tell your goddaughter to leave her alone. Don't let her put her hands in her head. If she gets sick every time, son ain't right, boo. Get your baby some deliverance. Go to Prophetess Rosalind Solomon.blogspot.com and look up those witchcraft deliverance prayers. And don't let her do her hair no more. Teach her how to do her own hair. Find somebody else. Ask God to lead her to a hairstylist or what do you call it? Hair salon that won't bring no harm to her or witchcraft to her. Because there's some out there. All right. Okay, so I got to go because I got things I got to do. All right. So I will try and come back this weekend and give y'all the rest of the stuff that I was going to say. Okay. And I might try and do Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And please go subscribe to my Rumble channel. I got 100 or so subscribers. You can go into my community tab and see it, or go on Facebook and see it. And click on the video and then join. I put up the 2024 video and then the video I did the other day. What was it? Sunday I did it, right? I put that up there. And I'm going to start putting up 15-minute videos for stuff that I really don't want to say on here because I don't want no problems. You know what I mean? They just took down one of my videos when I taught y'all about y'all DNA, but I got it in my thing, so I'm going to upload it to Rumble. So the good thing about my movie maker, it keeps my videos, right? So I'll see y'all soon, okay? Apostle, what prayers I can pray for someone was cutting my hair? Oh, that ain't good. When you see somebody cutting your hair in a dream, that means they trying to take your glory from you. So I got a prayer on my blog, but I can't remember it. So just look for it. But what you can pray is you can be like, Father, that witch or nefarious person in my dream that's around me physically or in the spiritual realm that wants to take my glory or cut my glory, in the name of Yeshua Jesus, I don't agree with them. I cancel it. I revoke it. I provoke the blood of Yeshua Jesus against it. I go in the spiritual realm and I change and unalter everything that they did in Yeshua's name, and I seal with the blood of Yeshua Jesus. And Father, I bind them up and loose them to the foot of Yah for him to trample all over their evilness, and they will stay bound and bind until they confess to him and come to him. And every goodness they're supposed to have and they have, take it from him, give it to you, wash it with the blood of Yeshua, and distribute it among the kingdom the way you want, and me and my family the way you want, in Yeshua's name. And if they get right, you'll get them new stuff in Yeshua's name. He'll do it. Ask God to set them on fire from the inside out. They get no peace, no rest, no nothing till they repent and come to him. And they will not be able to do witchcraft against you again or anybody else. Trust me, it worked. Because when I said a prayer one time about a witch, God showed me the witch bound up in the spirit room and she was on fire. She was on fire. So it worked. Trust me, it worked. They can pray against us all they want, but it works. Okay? All right, so I got to go. So I'll see y'all soon. Love y'all all. All right. Prophet told me not to get my hair done because someone was trying to. Yeah, and that's another thing. And then I got to go. When you go to these salons, right? You really shouldn't be cutting your hair, but sometimes people edges break off and split, and you may have to cut them because if you don't, your hair won't grow, because that happened to me, right? So, and then men, y'all go to the barbershop and get your hair done, cut, and your beard, and that hair be going on the floor, right? What if that person's a warlock or a wizard, or a witch, and she collecting everybody's hair? Guess what? They get your hair, they got you. They got your glory, and they got everything that comes with your glory. So, men, if you getting your hair cut at something, or women, there's two things you could do. You can either pick the hair, tell the person, I want my own hair, pick it up, put it in a bag, take it with you, right? Or what you do is you pray. Every piece of hair that, like men get your hair shaved, beard, every piece of hair of my head or my beard, of women, you getting your edges clipped, right? Or even if you ain't getting your edges clipped, your hair falls out when you're getting it done anyway, like a little trickle. You be like, any hair that leaves this scalp, spiritually and physically, I no longer take ownership of it anymore. It's no longer mine. And I wash it with the blood of Yeshua Jesus. So if anything or anybody try to use it, witchcraft, anything on me to try to take my glory, it will blow up and burn up in their face, spiritually and physically. They will never be able to do such a thing again, because they messing with the wrong anointed child of the Most High, in Yeshua's name. Then you ask God, make my hair fire. Make my follicles and my roots and the blood that comes from my hair, make it fire. So if any witch try to use my hair, she'll burn. She'll catch on fire. And she'll stay that way, or he'll stay that way until they repent. If not, they'll die that way, in Yeshua's name, for trying to use your hair and take your glory. And these are powerful prayers, and trust me, they work. Because I've seen it in the spiritual realm. That's how I know they work. Because I asked God, Lord, let me see what my prayers do. He'll let you. Ask him. He'll let you in his own time. And he does it to give you confidence, to let you know, baby, it's working. It's working, baby. All right? So that's what you men do. Or you could take your hair, and if you take your hair, you could bring it home. Never burn your hair. Never do that. But what you could do is bring it home, put some anointing oil on it. If you don't have mine, get you some olive oil, pray Psalms 91, 103 over, right? Put some anointing oil over it and pray that same prayer, and then you put it in the garbage. Never burn your hair in the stove. Then you put it in the garbage, right? That's especially for men, because y'all always getting y'all hair cut and beards. And for women, if you ever have to get your things, Now, when they doing your hair, sometimes a little bit of hair fall out. So that's when you say that prayer, because you might not be able to collect that hair. Okay? All right, so I'll see y'all soon. I done had my sis outside waiting too long. Love y'all. So this weekend, Y'all have a nice Sabbath and enjoy the rest of y'all week. Keep me in prayer as I do you. And people be like, Apostle, you be forgetting. Okay, if y'all want to sow a seed or donate, my Cash App is $yahuahelohim, or you can go to www.getthatstu-7.com or Prophetess Rosalind Solomon.blogspot.com, and you can donate there a partnership. And my ministry website should be up by the end of this month because he's supposed to be giving it to me this week. All right, so I'll see you soon. Much love. Shalom.